You know what I mean?
Yes, people, what's going on, man? We are back with another live today, and we're not going to apologize for being late because lateness is greatness. And Gunner's right. I am star of the show, and
Yes.
Gunner's star of the show, and another star of the show is a little late, but Mr. Big Man Kenny Ken should be here soon. You get me? It's been a while since he's been on the channel, so can't wait to have him back on. But you know what, Lee? Yeah. I had a little. Obviously, you can see the thumbnail. I done the whole boomerang thing before because I thought he was coming back to North London. Do you know what I mean? So I thought he was gonna boomerang himself back to North London. But on typical transfer news fashion, Aubameyang move to Barcelona looks all but done, and I have a tweet here that I'm going to read from Fabrizio Romano. I know, Lee, you are waiting to give your reaction, but we do have a cool off period on YouTube that we have to wait for. And there is Mr. Kenny Ken. He is here.
So, hey, Guni, sorry about that. You know what it was? Hey, man, why are you wearing your dressing gown? I'm getting mine as well.
Okay. So while Mr. Kenny Ken gets his dressing gown on, let me just read out Fabrizio Romano's tweet. Barcelona are preparing contracts and paperwork for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Final stages of the negotiations and medical now in place. Arsenal are completely out of the negotiation. They've just allowed Aubameyang to leave. That is really and truly, we knew that Aubameyang wanted to leave. The relationship had kind of broken down between himself and Arteta, particularly accelerated over the past couple of weeks. But listen, as two Arsenal fans who have loved the club for as long as you have, just give me your honest feelings. I'll start with you, Lee.
Mate, I'm angry. I'm very angry. I'm seething. I can't lie. I knew he was going to go. I knew it was finished for him at Arsenal. But this club, yeah, it stinks. It absolutely stinks from top to bottom, right? We have signed two lads from the American League, one of which is from the Cronkies' other sports venture, yeah, and franchise. We've loaned him straight back. We've signed a goalkeeper. I think he's coming in the summer. I don't even know. I ain't even interested. I don't care about that, yeah? Somebody please tell this lot that transfer windows for now is to sign players for now. It's not to sign players for the summer. When that transfer window shut in the summer, what has this football club done from the minute that transfer window shut in the summer to now to improve this squad and make us a better football club? They have done absolutely nothing. And a lot of our fan base, not all of them, but a lot of our fan base is sitting there going, oh, but they're getting rid of the dead wood. They're getting rid of the dead wood. Well, no disrespect, mate. We've got players out on loan that are better than the crap we've got at this football club. Saliba is better than Ben White. I don't care what anyone tells me. I will argue till I'm blue in the face. Guendouzi's better than half of our midfield, if not all of them, right? And he's balling out in France. He's actually in the French national team. And when you look at that midfield, to get in that team, oh my days. We've got Maitland-Niles. You telling me that Sambi Lokonga's better than him? I'm sorry, I ain't seen it yet. Are you telling me that he couldn't do a job over Cedric at right back? Bruv, I'm baffed. Then you look at every single player that this manager has fallen out with. Emi Martinez, Bernd Leno, Aubameyang, Pepe, Guendouzi, Saliba, Martinelli, Nuno Tavares the other week. I'm sure I've missed a few. I'm sure there's more. Yeah, my brain can't compute. Balogun, there's another one. Name me another football club in the world that has done £250 million in 2 seasons, right? And got worse and fallen out. And a manager's fallen out with more players than he's in love with. And you've just let your top goal scorer, who, by the way, has still scored more goals than Lacazette this season, and he's not played. He's scored more goals than Lacazette. He's scored the same amount of goals in all competitions as Bukayo Saka, despite playing about 800 minutes less. I think only Smith Rowe has scored more goals than him in our team in all comps. Only Smith Rowe. We have just allowed the guy that single-handedly really won us that cup final, because that second goal was a joke. What he did there against Zuma was unbelievable, right? Torreira's another one. Thank you, chat. Right? That goal, that winning goal, gave this manager time and grace for the next couple of seasons. And we have Pablo Mari's another one. Thank you. Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, another one. Yeah, we have just allowed our top goal scorer who's bagged nearly 100 goals for this football club after an argument that we don't even know the ins and outs of is, he broke protocol. Well, what was the protocol? How can that not be repaired? Do you remember when Tevez was at Man City?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they repaired that and they went on to win the league, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How can we not repair this with Aubameyang? I genuinely am fuming that we have let him go. Listen, I understand why he probably wanted to go. If I was a striker that was on a new deal and I'm being asked to play left wing back, because that's what he's been doing, is playing left wing back. When you're an in-the-box striker, you haven't got a great first touch. You haven't got great technical ability. You've lost a bit of pace. You can't hold the ball up. You're not physical. You don't win headers. His job since he broke into the St. Etienne team and when he broke into the Dortmund team and even at Arsenal pretty much until Arteta came, get in the penalty box. His movement's probably the best on the planet. I've seen Aguero was up there with movement, but we're asking that guy to do things that he's not capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to play with him on the left wing, it's pointless having him. So I understand why we've got rid of him, but we've got rid of him off of the back of something that we don't even know the reason of. And to just cut him off for free, mate,
that's ridiculous.
Disgusting. This football club stinks, man. It's finished.
Kenny Ken, do you think this situation could have been managed a bit better, like Lee was saying? Because it's true. I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened in football. Carlos Tevez went to South America and was playing golf, for goodness sake, and eating and doing whatever he wanted to do. They still managed to salvage that, come back into the league like nothing ever happened, and they won it. So why is this a continual issue at Arsenal Football Club, Kenny?
Well, it's the manager. But, just before I'll answer that question, it gets worse, Lee. He's going on free. So a player that we bought for 60 million nearly, only 4 years ago, still has a reputation of a prolific goal scorer, has left Barcelona on a free. So basically, Arsenal have ripped up his contract and for him to start again. So this gets really, really bad. So in terms of why wasn't this resolved? Well, I'm surprised you asked me that because you've seen evidence on the outside looking in of players who have fallen out with this manager and their careers have ended at the football club. We've got a list as long as my arm. I'm sure there was beef between himself and Martinez, hence the fact that Martinez went to Aston Villa. There's clearly beef between him and Leno because of the decision to promote Ramsdale. There's unbelievable beef between himself and Saliba, despite what Saliba said. I don't know whether it was a disciplinary issue or the fact that he didn't rate him. Either way, he did a Brian Clough on us. And let's not forget Mesut Ozil. I mean, there's still pork chops, and I call them pork chops. Yeah. Certainly pork chops who have the audacity to insult at my intelligence. Because I don't know if other people may think their intelligence hasn't been insulted to say that Mesut Ozil was released from the football club because his support for the Uyghur Muslims in China. That's the biggest load of rubbish I've heard. It was because he fell out of Arteta. And then you've got the most biggest casualty is Aubameyang. But we knew this was going to happen. We knew after the Spurs game that there was disciplinary issues. There was disciplinary issues even before the Spurs game in terms of the fact that he contracted COVID. There were unauthorized trips as well. These problems were happening before. There were even problems when Mesut Ozil was at the football club. So it's not a new thing. And the fact that he strips from the captaincy, he's banished him to the club, out the football club. It's not a surprise to me. This is a Arsenal Football Club as it is. Arteta has been given a free rein. It's clear to everyone at the football club, the fans, Lee, and everyone else, that Arteta's got a blank check, and that Arteta is a team manager, and he's in charge of our transfer. Like I said, negotiations along with Per Mertesacker and our good friend Edu. So this is an Arsenal thing, and so it's not a surprise that this happened. And there'll be other players who are going to fall foul of Arteta. I think a lot of people at the football clubs have to understand we should never underestimate the power this man has at this football club. Doesn't matter how many shows me and Lee do do, or any guest shows we say ask him to be removed. We can even get a protest going now, get him removed. But as long as the Cronkies are here, he's going nowhere. And I've got even something more controversial to say, and I've left it in for Lee. Lee will hear it later. There's a scam going on at Arsenal Football Club, an absolute scam. 2 assets that you pay a weekly wage of £350,000 have left the football club on a free. What's going on? What's going on? One's a World Cup winner, a player that we had differences from, to the extent that, we couldn't wait for him to get pen and paper. And then the guy, another one, that signed a team merchant. And this happens. I'm sorry, mate. I'm really, 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 really sorry if any Arsenal fans thinks that something's not going on here. And I'll tell you one thing: the biggest scammer is Arteta. He's the biggest scammer. I'll tell you one thing: when he was offered that 2-year deal from Man City, I'll tell you why he was offered that 2-year deal, because I'll tell you now what's going on between Arteta and Man City. They are waiting for him to get. The reason why he's Arsenal is to get work experience. So when Pep leaves, they'll have a continuity project with Arteta at the head of the helm. Arteta's only here for work experience and to get managerial experience. And then as soon as Guardiola leaves, which he always does, that man would drop us in it. I promise you that will happen.
I'm not convinced, Kenny. I don't think that they'd drop their standards. Because let's be real, he's out of his depth for Arsenal, mate. Let alone Man City. Look at the players he's falling out with, Kenny. Can you imagine him handling some of the players at City?
Well, you look at the situation. It's an easy job for him. You look at it, the foundations that Guardiola's left at Man City, to the extent that he's got excellent players. He's going to get the players he actually wants. Plus, he's got players that he knows properly that he doesn't have to, develop. I think it's an easy job. I think it's the easiest job in football for him. Maybe not for someone else who may want to change things. And I think that's what's going on, because there's no reason why he would offer a 2-year contract. They surely can't think he's that good. Is he that? What's going on here? What is going on here? Why is a club of Arsenal size allowing players to leave on a free, especially assets who can still do a job somewhere else, despite the fact that Aubameyang's had his form has been neglectful in the last 18 months? The fact is, why is he being allowed on a free? That was never the agreement. Sell him and get as much money for him because he's an asset, but we let him go on a free. What's going on here?
100%. And the thing is as well, like I'm not being funny with this, right? If you actually add up how much money Mesut Ozil cost Arsenal Football Club from the day we signed him to the day he left, it was £153 million we spent on the fee, the wages, the agent fee, the image rights, the renewal, the re-wages, the new wages, right? Now add in Aubameyang. Yeah, I guarantee Aubameyang has cost Arsenal, he cost 60 mil when he came, so that's now 213 mil, plus the wages, plus the renewal. We're touching 250 million, probably more, maybe 265, 270, 270 million pounds of 2 top earning players.
Club made it back. Club made it back, though. Club made it back, Lee. Yeah, but club have made it back, because this is where we're going to get to further into the pod, where Arsenal Football Club is a Plan B situation like we have Man United. They have no intention of winning trophies at Arsenal. All they care about is maximising the TV revenues from abroad, especially where Guni is in the United States, where it's a virgin territory in terms of football. Because I think that MLS thing is a load of garbage. Sorry. MLS is the biggest load of rubbish I ever watched. It's rubbish. I mean, bloody hell. You've got Liam Richwell and Bradley Wright Phillips. Bloody hell. And then your main staff there. Says it all, isn't it? Says it all. And basically, then you've got Australia. Then you've got Asia, the biggest market of all. Come on. There's a scam going on here. There's a massive,
and we haven't even delved into the Chinese market yet, like football wise. Like I know it's massive over there, but how many people from China watch your streams, Guni? How many watch mine? Not many, if any.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen a Chinese guy in my chat from China, like actually in China. So that's an untested marketplace that I'm sure that football is going to go into. Yeah, and I'm sure they have, but it's not as. I know we've obviously got like little deals that we do out there. With each club, I do a deal with a Chinese car company or a watch company or a sponsor. They'll have a sponsor. But in terms of actual watching YouTube and what I see, I don't see anyone from that part of the world in my streams. So that is untested. And the more they push that in that part of the world, yeah, that's massive. That's bigger than America and Australia combined, mate. Yeah, and that can make football another level. So, mate, I'm pissed off, mate. I can't lie. This window's been a shambles. This club's been run.
There's another scam going on, though, because the other scam is the fact that if you hear people like Dharma, he's now saying, well, Arsenal spent the most money in the transfer window this summer. So basically, we spent about 125, 150 million. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is just like, you don't even have a replacement lined up for Aubameyang. I mean, had you had signed Vlahovic, obviously that's gone and dusted. At least there's a ready-made replacement there. But like, who have you got left as striking options? Realistically, Martinelli can play there. Then you've got Eddie Nketiah.
Oh, Eddie Nketiah, nah. And then we've got Alexander Lacazette, who's bagged 3 goals all season, had 14 shots on goal all season. Yeah, between them two, Eddie and Laka, they've scored 2 open play goals all season. We've just let our best striker walk out the door for nothing. Oh, off you go, mate. Go on, off you go. Mate, it doesn't matter who they bring in now, striking option wise. They're not gonna bag enough goals. We're gonna finish 8th this season. I'm telling you right now. I said it at the start of the season. I'm sure, Kenny, you were maybe thinking maybe a bit higher, but I know that you said that we were going to struggle because we didn't have enough about us with the manager.
Well, that'd be all right, Lee. That'd be all right. If you speak to a lot of Arsenal fans, and some of them, I mean, the front of some of these people, I mean, some people got a lot of front to, first and foremost, trying to bully Arsenal fans into, believing in youth project and, trust the process. Self-made, by the way, man-made philosophies that certainly were not promoted by the club, but they took it on anyway because it suits their narrative of doing nothing. But some of them got such a lot of front because in the new narrative now amongst our fan base is, well, I defy any Arsenal fan to admit that they generally thought at the start of the season we'll get in the top 4. So if we don't get the top 4, I don't see what they're going to complain it's going to be made. But I've got another gem for you both. This gets better. I'm fed up of arguing with someone, Arsenal fans, who won't accept that if we finish higher than when we finished last season, i.e. one place better than 8th, then that is progress. Someone's actually got the front to not only think that, but express it. And to idiots who actually approved that tweet, I'm surprised that pork chop didn't pin it. But this is the sort of thing we are talking about. That people are making it up as they go along, knowing full well there's going to be, branch roots discussions, going to be anger because we finally realised that with all the money we spent, we haven't actually spent the money we required in order to give ourselves a strong spine because somehow we got in the top four. And when I don't know anyone, right? It's like me and you, Lee, and Guni, right? We do ordinary jobs and we get what we consider a modest wage. All right, and what's a modest wage? 30 grand a year. Sorry, I'm not insulting anyone because some people might earn less than that. But say 30 grand a year, and all of a sudden we get a lottery ticket, and that lottery ticket says, right, 30 million pound, or if you want to call it 30 million pounds lottery ticket. We won the lottery. Boom, our lives change. Do you seriously think that now we're eating caviar, we're going to want to go to the £2.99, chicken meal deals in Finchley Park after now we got caviar? You don't.
Yeah,
so why these idiots, pork chops, having the audacity to go on their platforms because killing themselves are important. I mean, everyone's can have a Twitter account and Instagram account. It's not hard. It's free, and then put that crap down that that we shouldn't really complain because we didn't really expect to get in the top 4. Who writes that nonsense? Who writes that?
A lot of people out there, Kenny, though, there's conflict of interest, mate. We say it all the time. A lot of football fans these days have a conflict of interest. I see it not just in the Arsenal fan base, but within other fan bases. They're more interested in getting their face on TV, or getting their face on a sports channel, or getting their face in a little Manscaped deal and stuff like that, than actually saying what they think. So, unfortunately, and Arsenal is rife with this, lesser so in other fan bases, but Arsenal definitely. Yeah, there's so many
Man United
fans.
as well. And Man United as well.
Man United.
You got someone who was probably spinning decks for a living. Now he's on the transfer show. I mean, God, I wish I could get that.
It could be worse. Yeah, the one we had could be worse. The one we had in our fan base is picking up soap tonight, mate.
Oh my days. Oh, goodness.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, but I want to let me.
Everyone watching live, by the way. Sorry to cut you, man. I know it's your channel. I don't want to take over.
I was going to say the same thing. Literally, I was going to say the same thing to big up everybody that's in the chat, and big up Chike as well. But he made a very good point in the super chat. He said, how much more money does Mikel Arteta need to spend at Arsenal? And it's a good point, because you've mentioned several times, Lee, and you have, Kenny Ken, the amount of money that he spent, that really should be enough to get a team into the top 4 or challenging. Do you know what I mean? But you can clearly see that, because in some cases, the money's not even spent badly. It's just a case of the problem of clear just mismanagement of these players.
Some of the players we've signed, you'd say, okay, on paper, the fee, the position, cool. Yeah, so say Tomiyasu, for example. I don't think he's been that amazing, but I don't think he's been that crap. He's been all right. Yeah. Ben White, we never needed. We could have saved that 50 mil and dropped that on a midfielder, or even 2 midfield. We could have put that towards Maddison. Yeah. Bellerin was going to always leave the football club the summer just gone. So we needed a right back. So Tomiyasu, okay, cool. You can come in, pretty cheap deal, £20 million, cool. Ben White, we had a ready-made replacement for David Luiz anyway, who's now on loan at Marseille. He's quality, man. But again, our fans have allowed this manager to peddle a narrative through the football club, through the journalists that peddle the crap, that put it out, and all the top fans and the top accounts that want to get their traction rather than saying what they think will go with the same narrative because it suits the agenda and the argument of the football club. William Saliba has not been a problem at his football club. I don't care what anyone tells me. Yeah, 19-year-old boy is living his dream playing for or coming to Arsenal. What? And now I'm supposed to believe he's a problem. Like,
he's
come
never
on.
a problem, mate.
He's
never been a problem. But the situation is that the problem we've never really had at Arsenal is that Arsenal have always had some sort of continuity. And, you know, sometimes in all our anger, we forget the club we support. Arsenal pride themselves of being this Bank of England club, and we were always 5 years behind everyone else. We were 5 years behind other clubs, especially our rivals, in terms of the wages we were paying to players. And we're five years behind in terms of the transfer fees we were amassing. We've always been penny pinching, and that was definitely a case when George Graham was at the club, and it was the case with Arsene Wenger, and it's now the case with you know. I think to call this guy a coach, you know, would be like some sort of satirical. He's nothing but the sort. He's not. You know, I can't even call him by a name. I just don't want to call him by his name.
If I was to call him a name, it'd start with C. Yeah.
No, this is a family show. But you know,
next Tuesday, yeah.
But, you know, it's not even that. It's that I don't want it to become personal. But the thing is, right, is that it has become personal because I've got a personal grudge now against the way this club's been run. And if you're hurting the club, you're hurting me because I cut red and white. So my beef is with the transfer committee. And on the transfer committee is Edu, Mikel Arteta, Per Mertesacker, and Vinay. And if you want to put Josh on there, so these 5 men, I've now got a grievance against. Because the simple reason right now is that somehow we have found ourselves in a top 4 fight where at the moment it's too close to call. But you know, I've identified 9 games. Now, we've talked about a situation that our main strikers have scored 3 goals between them.
Mm.
I mean, you're going to have a situation where Harry Kane, you're going to have Tottenham. They've got Harry Kane, Son, Mora, and they've got Bergwijn.
And
We've got,
Kulusevski.
yeah. So say, like I said, and I don't even want to say God forbid because he doesn't score that many goals anyway. But just say on a token gesture, God forbid anything happens to Lacazette. Our main number 9 is Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah. I repeat, our number 9 is Edward Nketiah, Chelsea reject, who's now our main number 9. Because guess what? We didn't want to sell him because we knew Aubameyang was leaving the club. So where I come from, if you have a player of Aubameyang's record, albeit bad disciplinary, rap sheet, normally you want someone who's competent, got Premiership experience, knows his way to goal. But you're basically telling Eddie Nketiah, you can't leave the football club, even though you can't hit a barn door from 5 yards, because we don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose you because guess what? We told Balogun he could go because we put all our eggs into the Dusan Vlahovic basket. And guess what? Dusan Vlahovic is probably one of the best businessmen I've out there at the moment because he used Arsenal as leverage. I mean, Dusan Vlahovic coming to Arsenal we could have quadrupled his wages, but he would never have come to us because guess what? If it was Chelsea, European champions, Man City, Liverpool, Man United, you're right. I'll play with Cristiano Ronaldo, but Arsenal, nah. But I'll tell you what, what I'll do is that I'm going to tell my agent to tell the Agnelli family that Arsenal are interested. So, you know how you were offering me 140.
That's exactly it.
£1,000 a week. If you can give me another like 60 or 70, I'll come because Arsenal are offering me 220. So just match what Arsenal's offering me wages, and I'll go there. And by the way, Arsenal are offering 56 million, so I put another £4 million on that, and I'm there. It's leverage.
It's leverage.
It's
Absolutely.
leverage.
That's the word. That's the one. And look, again, another good point here. Like £50 million on Basuma. How have you lot not pulled the trigger on that one? I mean, it's deadline day. The guy's available. When he said previously.
Can I just say something? You know, Chike, your fella, Nigerian fella, Igbo man, you're giving generously to my man Guni. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I need some lunch money because I'm really hungry. So if you want to put your donations my way, and, maybe pound sterling, Chike, fella Igbo boy, because put it my way, right in his pocket here. See his pocket? See this little pocket here?
You're cracking me up.
You know what they call pocket money? Put some money in here. And I'll go and I'll decide. I don't know whether I can have whether it's going to be a Chinese, a kebab, or maybe. But you're giving generously today, mate.
I'll go. Kenny said, keep them coming now. Come on now, bring them. Nah, man. But but honestly, because look, Basuma, he does improve your midfield, and he improves pretty much most of the top clubs' midfields. Because I rate Basuma as like a highly talented player. Honestly, from what I've seen, he's come to the bridge several times and has absolutely just run the show. But like even just outside of that, he is a top player.
I'm surprised nobody's gone in for him at all.
It's a strange one. Yeah, it's a strange one because I know.
Do you think it's because of the situation where he was arrested?
Where he got arrested, maybe.
Because I think obviously, on a serious level, I think what's happening right now is that I was speaking to my brother, and there was an incident involving probably the most talented player of his generation in the 90s being involved in something similar to what we heard yesterday. Now, 26 years ago, that's not frowned upon. Right? Now, it's not happening. So, is the fact that only Aston Villa making a serious stride for him, putting off the big clubs? I don't know, because as this guy says, there's rumours Spurs could do with him. Now they've got rid of Dembele and Arsenal. I mean, our biggest issue, the biggest elephant in the room has always been our midfield, because you can have the best strikers in the world, but if you don't have a balanced midfield, and you're struggling.
And speaking of Spurs, they've just signed some decent quality into their squad. They've just signed Bentancur and they've just signed Kulusevski. Bentancur at an absolute steal as well. So if that goes wrong, I believe they've paid just like 25. It's gonna, with the add-ons, it will come up to like 25 million euros. And then
Kulusevski as well. Kulusevski is a young lad that, as I looked at yesterday when I was on with Toby and Fuad, he's played 6 positions for Juve. Yeah, like, it must be frustrating as a footballer. I was saying this to them. Yeah, it must be frustrating that you know that you're a right winger, but you're being asked to play in central midfield,
center midfield, and all these things,
and you're playing as a second striker or a main striker or a left wing or left mid. It must be very frustrating at times. But you think, okay, cool. I'm at a massive football club like Juve. Ronaldo's here. I've got Dybala here. I've got some big players here. Okay, but when a manager's there and he's not got that faith in you to say, right, you're my guy at that position, and he don't put his arm around you and say, look, you can be a superstar here. At times, that's why so many players go off the wagon. Yeah, and fall off the wagon.
Maitland-Niles at Arsenal,
Yeah. Oxlade-Chamberlain at Arsenal.
Yeah, but Maitland-Niles' preferred position in midfield, yet he got England recognition just before the Euros as a left wing back. You know what I mean? Hence, and thanks to Mikel, I mean, I can't even say his name, messed it up for him, because that's one thing that, people seem to forget about Mikel, is that they talk about player development, how he's developed a team and blah, blah, blah. I call him a talent killer. He's a talent killer. Players have gone backwards under this guy. And, people who laud up a performance against Man City, a game we lost. I mean, come on, we had to improve after the rubbish we did, what happened in the Etihad. But let's just play along and just say that we played really well against Man City. Everyone's saying what a great performances and what great strides we're making. We're not saying it now, are they? Because collectively, every Arsenal fan, their main topic of conversation, be it on their Twitter Spaces chats or podcasts or Instagram, is buy. So even people who are behind the manager, even who changed the narrative, they're desperately waiting by their fingertips, and we've got 2 hours and 70 minutes left for some sort of movement. Because let's face it, if we get someone in, this is like a saving grace for a lot of these people.
You know what the next narrative change will be, though? You know what it'll be? If we don't sign anyone, it'll be, well, we've cleared out all the dead wood for a big summer window. That'll be the next narrative pushed by all of the journalists like Watts and Wheatley and Benj. Yeah, it'll be.
What's is critical? What's is critical? I've got the evidence.
What's is critical to a certain level, Kenny. Yeah. He got the exclusive for Thomas Partey. Even Fabrizio said he weren't coming. Yeah, and then he got the exclusive, and then Fabrizio said, "Oh, actually, I've found out now, an hour later, that he is coming." So Arsenal know what they're doing. Yeah, in terms of the PR, we know this. If we don't sign anyone, the whole narrative from them lot, they're going to have a little dig. Of course they are, and say it's going to leave us short, and we ain't going to get.
It'll be our fault. It'll be our fault because it'll be the Arteta outers didn't want Arsenal to sign anyone because they want us to lose, and that if they're just waiting for us to get pummeled by some teams so they can get loads of likes and loads of traction with their negativity. So it's our fault that we lost against Man City, Chelsea, and Brentford. Brentford, by the way, we got mullered by it. I mean, we're the ones who was in the dugout, in charge of the team selection and match preparation tactics. It was our fault. But apparently, we want Arsenal to lose for traction. Why would I hang on it?
I want Arsenal to lose so he gets sacked quicker, because the more losses, the quicker he gets.
Even so, the fact is, you can't say you love a football club, and then all of a sudden, when things are not going wrong, you just have to sit there and bear it. I mean, who uses phrases like, "Well, in order for us to get greater riches, you've got to have some sort of pain." What's this? This ain't an injection to go to Africa. where you basically get your colours.
I know what you're saying, Kenny.
Your arms about to fall out. But when you get out there, as long as you don't get everything, will be okay. As long you won't get malaria. What's this all about? It's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous. I know exactly what you're saying, right? But for me, in my head, if we lost the next 5 games 7-0, yeah, or 5-0,
we're not going though, are we?
Yeah, then it'd be sacked, hopefully, which then means hopefully we would then go forward as a football club, because this dictator, this nasty control freak is out of our football club, and I feel like the players have just got, oh, he's gone.
Lee,
and I feel that make us better.
Lee, you know, I'm resigned to the fact that if people think that I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, and they actually agree the fact that there is some sort of a scam going on at the football club in terms of like they're primed themselves for the plan B, which Man United seem to be primed for. And I think Liverpool fans are getting conned by these Fenway lads as well, because because I'm not going to say it, but it seems where we have owners from the Atlantic, because people from the over the pond, the Atlantic, don't understand our football, but attracted by the fact that it is a very profitable league, that they're very attracted to TV rights and everything. It's no accident that the owners from Tottenham, although he lives in Bahamas, but let's take Tottenham out of the equation. Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal. There's the common denominator. They're all owned by people from across the Atlantic, who are basically attracted to the fact, one, the actual money you're getting for just being in it, the fact that it's an American bank that is running the ESL, plus the potential TV rights, and then getting into virgin territory in China. There's no doubt that all 3 of these owners are trying to get into the ESL.
Super League.
ESL, yes, ESL, in order to make so they can sell at profit. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, right? But as long as we have the Cronkies here, yeah, they are going to spend money, because they got no choice but to do it, because they're the owners. But I still say it now, and I'll say it now, unless we get a megalomaniac at this football club of a proportion like a Roman Abramovich, who basically wants everyone to do his bidding behind a very assassin smile, we're not going to be able to compete, because as at the moment, it all it's telling me is that the Cronkies, or whatever you want to call them, are more than happy with the job that Mikel Arteta is doing.
100%.
The development that's happening. So even if we do lose, there isn't going to be a cut-off point to where we're going to expect success, because it's a blank check. And that's the thing. We've been having this process for the last 18 years in counting. And what's happened is that the biggest scammer of them all, Arsene Wenger, who started this scam. Because let's face it, this scam started when he realised that it was good enough to be in the Champions League. So as long as he kept us in the Champions League without even bothering winning it, because I think even someone as deluded as him must have realised that we were never going to win it after we got battered by Man United in 2009. But he went along with it, and he trousered nearly £100 million in just salary alone. Let's not forget any bonuses he got for this.
Telling the world we can't compete.
Yeah, he's £100 million. That man trousers from our football club without taking it on further. And whilst that man was from 2009 up until 2018, when they finally realised that his gravy train has ended, that man presided over a situation where the quality of play we were getting in decreased, quality of performances we were putting in decreased, the quality of player that we were going in for decreased, and that happened on his watch, and it's never ever been abated, and that has now been the process all along. It's nothing about youth projects or more. Have your injections. Your arm's going to probably feel like it's going to fall off, but you feel better in the long run. Never been about it. It's always been about a cash cow in terms of like the Emirates Stadium, bringing in loads and loads of money because we're buying the merchandise and getting tickets through, plus TV deals that everyone knew we were going to get because football became popular around the world, and especially in virgin territories. Scam.
Lad, so obviously with Aubameyang leaving, that's 350k a week off the books.
Mm.
So if we can try and turn something into a positive here, that also gives you, you know what I mean? It gives you some space to add some more players in the summer. But after what you've seen this January,
you've actually accepted that, Mr. Guni, man knows football, that we're not going to make any signings in the next 2 hours. You've basically written it off as well. Like,
bruv, to me, it looks like
You're
it
in good
ain't
form tonight, Kenny.
it
Absolutely.
ain't gonna happen. It looks to me like it ain't
mean-
gonna happen unless you shit house Sutton. Earlier, I heard
Like
the
a
link to
what?
Rodrigo
Like
de
a
Paul,
what?
but I
Like
don't
a
know.
what?
I
What
know
do you
nothing about this guy. I heard the
I'll
link.
tell you
to
what,
this-
if we got a signing coming, I'll get in a car and get out of the Emirates right now if you want, when this is finished. I'll get in the car. I'll go
There
in
is
the
a bit of
dressing room.
there is a bit of breaking news. There is a bit of breaking news. Fabrizio's confirmed. Ousmane Dembele se queda hasta junio confirmado Fabrizio Romano. If anyone can't speak Spanish, that means Ousmane Dembele is staying until June, confirmed by Fabrizio. So Ousmane Dembele is not going to Chelsea. He's not going to Tottenham. He's not coming to us. Thank God for that. And yeah, the funny thing is like you said, Kenny, right? If we actually do some business, you'll put some clothes on, you take your smoking jacket off, you get your jogging gear on, you jog down to the Emirates, you take a selfie to show you're there, and you jog back. Fabrizio has not tweeted anything all day of us linked to a player.
To anybody. Mhm.
Which tells me we're
It's the
either not
same.
telling the guy
It's the same with
anything.
ESPN. The same with Sky Sports. The same with Talk Sport. Same with Radio 5, BBC Radio 5. There's been no talk whatsoever of anyone like getting involved. A good friend of yours, Lee, and a new friend for Guni, Tony Rolfe, has told me, watch out for Red Bull and West Ham or possibly Southampton. Would you accept being called Red Bull Arsenal? It means you're getting backed. No, I won't.
Yes. I would.
Obviously, we disagree.
I win.
At this point, you have to take it, innit?
I don't care. I'm shameless.
No, so yeah, so my
I'm
point.
shameless, mate. I don't give a shit. You could call us fucking cash cow. No, sorry, Bank of Dubai, yeah, FC. If it meant we win everything, I don't care, mate.
Yeah, bro. At this point, you got to take it where it comes.
I just want to win.
But no,
I need to go toilet, man. I'll be 1 minute, yeah.
Yeah, no, you carry on. You carry on. But Kenny, the purpose of the question was obviously because I'm trying to find positives here. So 350k a week has been freed off the books. Do you trust Arsenal to do the right thing and reinvest that in the summer? And if so, what type of quality are you looking for around the summer? Because this January cannot be forgiven.
It's a really good question because here's a problem. And here's what we call here's the Rubik's Cube situation we have.
Yeah.
In order to challenge for the league and get the top four, you need great players, or players with potential to go on if they have the right management. But here's a snag: to get these players, you have to be in the Champions League, and you have to have a manager of high repute. We neither have Champions League football, neither do we have a coach of high repute. So what's going to happen, right, is that we've tried an organic method for the last 18 years. It hasn't worked. So really and truly, we can go on shows, where we can do a Chelsea Arsenal show. But what will happen is that because I believe you're still going to have the kudos of the Champions League football. I still believe that you'll probably get to at least the semi-finals of Champions League. It'll really be a Chelsea show because you will be able to, get a manager if you're dissatisfied with Tuchel of high repute, because of the fact is that he's got an excellent setup to work with. Plus, you'll be able to get players of high repute because of the salaries you'll be able to pay them, and because they're going to win trophies. So, but if you want to put this as an Arsenal show, then all I can say right now is that it's a hard situation, because what will happen is that even if Arsenal spend big money, traditionally Arsenal will spend big money on one player, and that's it. And then, so say if Arsenal got a budget of 150 million, then they'll spend 70 million pound on that one player. That doesn't leave much for you to build a side around that one player that you've bought. As we've seen with the money we spent on Ben White, the 50 million pounds to spend White and other players. we haven't been able to build a side around a big signing because let's face it, he's our biggest signing now, isn't he? At 50 million. So it's a hard one to sell. And if we get the Champions League, then maybe they may have some ambition and may give the manager a war chest to build a spine. But that's a big if, because Arsenal traditionally won't do that. So, the urgency of our situation in terms of getting a Champions League, in order to improve, is just massive. But we've just started the show with the fact that our main strikers are Edward and Nketiah, and Alexander Lacazette have scored a total of 3 goals between them. Logically, football logic, the fact that you've coached and played a game, and you talk about the signature games we got coming up, football logic will state that we may miss out because we won't score enough goals. We won't concede much, but if it's a shootout between ourselves, Man United and Tottenham, and it's we're level on points, we won't get into the Champions League because they'll score more goals than us.
It's a tough one, but it's like, would it sort of? I know the situation's bad because he's gone on a free transfer, and for a player of that quality, and this isn't the first time it's happened. It's unacceptable. But is the situation rectifiable? Do you feel?
Well, it's only. I think if we get in the top 4, then I think the majority of the fan base will forgive, because what's happening now is the top 4, is the holy grail for Arsenal now, because we're not going to win. We're out of every competition we've entered. The top 4 will represent, not for me, I just think that it doesn't represent anything unless I see at the end of the season that we are going to make decent signing, but it won't happen. But this is all we got left. So for a lot of the people who are critical and upset, it will represent some progress. Getting into Europe means nothing to me, because the simple reason is that it's not progress. All it is that it's just what we've really been doing for most of the time we've been in the Premiership. Sorry, at the Emirates, we've always been in Europe, mostly in the Champions League, but now in the Europa League. So we're not doing anything different, because the Europa League is not a goal for Arsenal Football Club. It's not a goal. It's a goal for West Ham, goal for Aston Villa and Palace, but not for Arsenal. So that us getting 6th place and getting the Europa League is not success. It's nothing. Arsenal's not
and the
Europa League club.
Our fans have said, "Oh yeah, well we weren't in Europe. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not in Europe, so we've got a whole week to prepare." Then we get knocked out of the FA Cup. Oh, it don't matter. We can concentrate on winning the League Cup. We get knocked out of that, and it's now we can concentrate on top 4. Well, I'll tell you what. Then next season, right, when we don't qualify for Europe again, don't enter the League Cup, don't enter the FA Cup, and just go straight for the title. How about that then? Right, and something you said a minute ago, Kenny, was spot on. Right, about you're not convinced we'll sign big players, right? And if we do, blah blah blah, right? It's the history of the Arsenal, though, Kenny. Since Wenger days, do absolutely nothing. Drop Mesut Ozil on deadline day to finesse the fan base. Then we drop Aubameyang. Oh, look, I surprised you, and cheeky smile from Wenger. Look, there's Aubameyang. Then you've got Lacazette. 3 big signings over 3 different times. Alexis Sanchez. Then this summer, it was Ben White, the £50 million centre-back that can walk out of defence with the ball. This club has never been a serious football club since we moved to that stadium. That's not just on the owner, because that owner weren't the owner. I think he had 9% stake when we moved into that stadium.
He wasn't at the football club league.
No, he wasn't. Right. It was the season after. Yes, you're right.
I think the thing about the whole situation with Arsenal, right, is that when Arsene Wenger first came to the football club, even George Graham, the whole situation was with Arsenal 2 things: profit and the pitch at Highbury. So the pitch at Highbury was deemed as too small in order to hold major events. We used to hold semi-finals in the 80s, but there were teams as big as ground. So because we were trying to play that passing way, we needed a bigger pitch. So David Dean never wanted us to move to the Emirates Stadium. He wanted us to move to Wembley. And then once the fans complained, they were trying to develop Highbury, but the local fans were saying, "Nah, not interested. They want to stay in Islington." And that's the situation. And since then, the Hillwoods financed it, and it was like Arsenal, for instance, and blah, blah. And we went there with the greatest intentions because we felt that in order for us to compete with Man United, that we need some action in terms of revenue because they had 75,000 stadium. We had a 30,000 stadium.
That's what they made us think as fans.
Well, that's what I bought into that. I wanted.
Yes, so did I. But do you know what they did? It was very clever.
That.
It was so clever what they did. They did it when we were one of the best teams in the world. Yeah. Yes, we didn't win a Champions League and we only got to the final. We got to a semi, etc. But they did that, right? And finessed us, and we got to both of them. Ironically, after we moved stadium or the last season or whatever.
Last season, yeah.
Yeah, and then we did in 2008 the semi when Ronaldo and Rooney just ripped us a new one. Yeah, and they did that when we just come off the back of winning a double, or it was the season that we won the double in 2002. They announced the financing for Ashburton Grove. So they knew what they were doing, right? David Dean, as much as I love him and I've met him, I think he was there when Claude.
Yeah, he's also through.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, but he's culpable as well. They all are. Every single one of these people are very powerful or were very powerful in football back then. They knew the Super League was coming. They trialed it and it flopped because they dropped it at the wrong time because of the whole COVID thing, yeah? But they've all known how football's going to be globalized and all that. They've known this for a long, long time.
Because they were the ones pushing for it. They were the ones pushing for it.
And this is why when people just suddenly just shout Kroenke out, well, yeah, that's all well and good. And they're probably not the greatest owners. But we moved, as you well know, Kenny, we moved to be self-sufficient. Yeah. This is the best ownership for a self-sufficient business model because they are self-sufficient. They ain't paying any money in. So when our fans sit there and get the ump and go, oh, Kroenke this and Kroenke... No. This is what our fans wanted back in the day.
Yeah, and how many of our fans have called Chelsea, Man City doping? And how many of our fans have actually said they will leave the football club if they'll stop supporting Arsenal or stop going to games if we get owners like Abramovich? And I said, well, I always say to them, well, Man United fans weren't happy with the Glazers, so they went and formed FC of Manchester. So if you guys aren't happy with the way football's going and the fact that if we do get a megalomania owner or something for Qatari and you got a human rights situation, which I really respect, go and form, what should we call it? Herbert Chapman's at Avenel Rovers and, have some matches at Market Road.
Avenel Army.
I want the club to I've basically put my hands up, got the white flag out and thought, no way are we going to be able to compete by being self-sufficient, because eventually what we're seeing with Newcastle and what we're seeing now what we're seeing with Chelsea and Man City, they're the ones who are leading the way, because modern football dictates that if you have the best facilities and more money, you're going to do well and you're going to dominate.
It's not even just them, because you've got to look at other teams like Aston Villa who have done some serious business. They've just got Coutinho through the door, for goodness sake. You've got to look at Everton as well.
Who's their chief executive? Who's their chief executive? Christian Perslow. Christian Perslow was with you guys, and he was at Aston Villa, so he's a football man.
Mm-hmm. So the standards around are going up as well. Do you know what I mean? Other clubs are spending.
They have got one of the richest owners in world football. Yeah, so have Wolves. Yeah, and so have Newcastle, right? And these three clubs
got Chinese. Wolves and Aston Villa got Chinese owners.
Yeah, and now Newcastle with their ownership. Then you add in Everton, who they're kind of serious, but they're just rash at the minute. They're making baby steps and just going, oh, let's lash out and sack him. They will get it right.
Bro, sorry, real quick. This comment just had to make me stop. Is this actually a fact?
Yep.
Yes.
And we've just sold our best striker. We've let him go for nothing.
That was my next question. Then this is because listen, obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, but I always say this: like at some point you've got to take your jersey off and you've got to put your fan hat on.
You're a football fan, man. Come
on. That's what I mean. And me seeing this, right? If I'm a paying football fan, which I have been, I've been to football games. I've paid for countless football games, so many football games. You know what I'm saying? This is unacceptable. And especially if you want to take it down to the basics of the fact that Arsenal are the highest charging club in
Europe. We made a signing
for entry.
We made a signing. We signed Austin Trusty from Colorado Rapids.
Rapids, yeah. Someone let us know in here in the chat as well.
All right, can you give us a lowdown on who? Any lowdown anyone know about this guy?
Let me go on Twitter.
Trusty.
He lives in America and he's still got to check him on Twitter. I'm finished, man. I'm done. You got to check him out. This bro, come on, this club. We are literally sat here with less than 2 hours of this window to go, and we have not signed anybody of any note.
Sorry, I don't want to insult him, but
it's Austin Trusty, and it's a summer game as well. It's not even coming. It's not even coming in the winter. It's coming in the summer to Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a good American name. Hey man, hey y'all. My name's Austin Trusty. Yeah, and I play quarterback. Yeah, bro. Is it Colorado Rapids, bro? I thought that was an American football team. I can't lie.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. So, do you know what? It's not even a disrespect, but you see, from I've been watching Premier League, Serie A, bro. MLS is impossible for me, bro. And the thing is me and Troops, we went to a Red Bull. Bro, I ain't even dissing the thing, but me and Troops, we went to a Red Bull reserves game. Yeah.
How bad?
All I'm saying, because Ken, I have to be respectful.
You've seen better over Hackney Marshes, Kenny.
No. Big man team, Kenny. It looked like they would struggle in League Two. Big man team, the reserve conference.
You know what this deal smacks of, Kenny? Do you remember when we signed Cohen Bramall?
Oh God, don't.
This is the same. I don't care how good he might be or could be or should be or would be. No. Are you good now? No. So you can't play now? No. So I don't care then.
So you've signed 2 MLS players.
We've got Turner as well. We've got a goalie. So we signed 2 players, Trusty and Turner.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking done.
Yeah, it says here, thank you, David, for the super chat. Arsenal signing 2 MLS players, hoping to become good players in the near future. Turner is a decent keeper. His kicking is very questionable. David, are you from the US and do you watch the MLS as well? Just out of interest, bruv. But yeah, man, the MLS ain't it.
Don't worry though. Aaron Ramsey's just rocked up at Ibrox to sign his contract.
Oh, swear.
Well, yeah. Aaron Ramsey's
Breaking news as well. 8 minutes ago from Fab. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is currently undergoing his medical in Barcelona while the board are working on the details of the deal. Final stages of negotiation while Arsenal have been guaranteed the deal will be completed. What I think, when we're letting this guy go for free, I think this is going to be very similar to the Dele Alli deal to Everton. We're going to let him go for nothing, but we're going to have stipulations that if he scores goals and they do something, that we get kickbacks. Yeah, the Dele Alli deal, after 20 games, they get 12 mil. Yeah, and then it could rise to 35. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this coming football. Yeah, we'll let you rip your deal up. You can go there, but the club you go to don't have to pay for you. But when you hit 20 goals or you hit 20 games or you hit 30 goals, we want a kickback. And I think that's probably what it's going to be. So I think we will get some money.
It's a very strange way to do business in anything.
It's an easy way to get a player out the door, though, isn't it? It's a player you don't want. It's an easy way to get him out the door, isn't it?
Arsene Wenger. But Arsene Wenger, he said it. He said, like, eventually players are just going to figure it out and just run down their contracts.
No, you know what that bastard was doing? He was telling players to fucking do it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Them to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly that. And look, it's starting to be more and more frequent, but it does make sense. But yeah, man, lads.
The thing is, guys, sorry, is that we've been led to believe that every club, with the exception of probably Man City, player power, it is the norm. Maybe except for Man City, Liverpool, but at Arsenal, it's quite unique that there's no such thing as player power, and the person who's the most powerful football club, and I suppose traditionally it should always be the way. Yet he hasn't actually got a pedigree, and most importantly, he hasn't got concrete results or consistently good results in order to back him up. He hasn't, if he was to go up to his dressing room and said, right, and they asked him, what is your currency? What is your resume? The resume is poor. Yet for some reason, that is deemed to be excellent by our board. How has this worked out?
Lads, another piece, because I saw this in the chat a few times, but I had to double check it was true. But have a look at that.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
that's what I was saying. No,
Oh,
that's what I was saying a
dear.
minute ago. Yeah, because
No,
I thought they were.
I had to. I mean, I seen it, but I had to fact check it because I've been had a few times in the chat, so I had to fact check it.
No, it is. It's a KSE team. That tells me that that's just a moody little deal to appease. Oh look, we've got. Bro, this club's done, man. Us and Man United.
This is Arsenal Football Club. This is the third
Kenny, it's
biggest club
Arsenal
in the
Football
world
Club
in
to me and
England.
you. It's Arsenal Football Club to me and you, mate. The Arsenal, yeah. It's Arsenal Football Club to me and you and all the Arsenal fans in the chat. But to this lot, yeah, not just the owner, but Edu, Vinay, Tim Lewis, and all these other people. It's just a job, mate. Yeah, for the owners, it's
don't leave out Mertesacker. Don't leave out Mertesacker. He's part of this. He's part of this. Mertesacker and the team manager Arteta. So if you go across the UK, the biggest clubs in the UK are Man United, Liverpool, Celtic, and Rangers, and then it's us. All right, and we've now signing players from the MLS on a potential that they're going to be great in a few years' time.
It's a branding thing. That's what it is.
Branding, 100%.
We should never have allowed a situation where Man City and Chelsea are now the clubs now potentially going to be bigger clubs than us. We've allowed that to happen.
Kenny, it's a marketing one. Yeah, we're going to sign these two guys from the MLS. The shirt sales are going to go through the roof in America. That's all it is. No disrespect. Listen, they might be good footballers. No disrespect. I don't want to upset any American guys in the chat or girls in the chat. Yeah, but I know how this club works. I've seen it for a decade or more, 2 decades. Yeah, it's pathetic. Yeah, big up Mr. Waffle. Bro, I'm on loan to Man City. I might make it permanent. I can't lie.
The other thing gets me right. Probably gets me is that I look at what's been happening over the last 18 years, and I've looked at the sort of reduction in quality in our football club. I don't know why people are not outraged by this. Why are people not outraged by this? They're outraged by the owners, the fact they're not spending big money. There's some are outraged by managers. But what they don't seem to understand is that, surely the wake-up calls when Chelsea won the Champions League for the second time.
It's a
you know how much that hurt me?
Kenny, it's a social, it's a jolly up for most of these fans. They don't get it. Yeah, most of these fans just go to the games just to have a jolly up with their mates. They don't feel it like we feel it. Most of the fans online that I see do feel it, but they feel it in a different way. Like on the channel that I'm on, my channel, they feel it like I feel it and you feel it and Jez feels it, right? And the other people I have on. But the majority of people I see on Twitter and on Instagram, they couldn't give a shit. If Arsenal folded tomorrow, they're just going to support someone else.
But what I don't understand, right? You love this football club. You say you love this football club, right? Why
they don't love themselves, Kenny. They can't love anyone else.
Why is it that I've seen more passion from Arsenal fans when it regards criticism from pundits about us cancelling a North London derby, criticism from them because they feel referees are not giving us, free kicks and VAR is not kind for us. I've seen a lot of passion in those what I call inane areas. Yet before their eyes, they're not outraged by the fact that we've, in terms of like our importance of football club, or the fact that the quality of the caliber of play we had reduces every year to the extent that explains why we've never ever going to challenge, and also why aren't they outraged by the fact that this is the third time in our history we've gone 17 years or more without winning the title. We've always said after 89 this would never happen again, and we've done it again the third time. 53 to 70 we didn't win anything. Not letting win the title, we won nothing, and we said never again. We're going to react the sleeping giant at 70, and then in 89, George Graham is going to re-wake the sleeping giant after we went 18 years without winning the league, and we've done it again. What do we got to revive the giant a third time? What's going on?
Being revived this time. Yeah, you can't give it mouth to mouth. And this comment as well, by the way, I know you want to wrap up soon, Guni, as well. Yeah, and I'm live in 15 minutes as well. Comment about the MLS, I weren't cussing the MLS. What I'm saying is, Yeah, and there has been some good players. Yeah, that Jack Harrison's a good player, by the way. Very good player.
Yeah, Winston McKennie, I rate him as well, and Alphonso
Yeah.
Davies, but that's few and far between.
Yeah, but what you've got to take into account is that league's only been going 20 years.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So it's
whereas
not,
our leagues have been going 100 years.
Yeah,
right?
so it's not what we're saying is not a disrespect. It's just a fact. If
You know
you're
what it
coming
is
from
for
the
me?
Premier League, you can see
it's
the
not
difference.
It's not a disrespect. It's just underwhelming that I want someone for now. I don't care how good these people are in 6 months, 2 years, 10 years. I couldn't give a shit. I want it now. I've waited 18 years at the end of this season to see another title. Bro, I was 22 the last time Arsenal won the league. I'm 40 in June.
Lee, did you know when we won a title? Did you seriously think that finally the penny had dropped with Arsenal, that we're now a big club, and that we're on the cusp of of being an important club in Europe, that we're going to have a continuity of success? I never saw it coming in 2004. I didn't see it coming. Even when Chelsea bought all those players, I knew, because I'm not a pork chop, that you're going to be challenging, and that it would be Arsenal.
I had it in my bloody ear every day.
I didn't think it was going to be this. Come on, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think that our club is stupid enough to allow.
Because we got blinded by the talk, Kenny. We got blinded by the talk, and the older we've got, the more we've seen it, the more we've lived it and filled it and been there and seen it, worn the t-shirt, all the crap. We've got wiser to their bullshit. Whereas back then, I was young enough to get sucked in. I was young enough because of the domination that I felt we had, especially in London over Chelsea. Although, again, if the common denominator is, if you're going to spend money on world stars and you're going to attract big managers, that domination wouldn't. If it lasted, it would be a fair fight, and it'd be like kind of two tennis players, Nadal and Federer taking each other to greater heights, not Federer running off and leaving Nadal behind, which is what's happened with Arsenal and Chelsea. But I didn't, and that was just I could stomach that, and then I've seen Man City do it. What's gone on? What has happened to this football? Why has Arsenal Football Club become a laughingstock? Because let's face it, it's Man United as well. Barcelona are starting to go down that route.
Yeah, but the thing about it, when we talk about Arsenal, right? Chelsea fans can't even bother to laugh at us. I mean,
it's not fun no more, bro. It's not fun no more. Like, because they had to,
Chelsea players that can't cut, who are come at the end of their career.
He's not got a word in edgeways. We've just been going boom, 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 boom.
No, it's you lot's therapy, because I know, like, getting rid of Aubameyang that's a big thing. So I just knew, like, you know what? I knew the two of you are gonna just want to let it run. So I just let you two run. Do you know what I'm saying?
Chelsea fans feel sorry for us. Feel sorry for the third biggest club for the first biggest club in England. We're one of the biggest clubs in the UK.
Yeah. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world.
How has this happened to Arsenal Football Club?
Because we've got a fan base that have got more interest in either being a journalist, ratioing people on Twitter, or just happy to just buy the merch, but then tweet Cronky out when it all goes wonky. That's it. Until people actually grow a set. And look at when we did the protest, right? So the protest for the Super League, 5,500 people. It was mad, right? Then we do a protest against the owners because we hadn't signed many people. We drop Aaron Ramsdale and Martin Odegaard. Our manager stands there, sits there in a press conference and says, well, we've got Villarreal coming up, so can we just clap the team bus? 200 people turned up, not 5.5K, 60,000 people at the ground. 200 stood there and went, yeah, that's it, because they're more interested in getting traction on their social media accounts and being liked by other people they don't know on their socials than they are actually saying the truth. People like me and you, Kenny, we've got our friends, we've got our family. Yeah, we don't need to be liked by strangers. If you like us, cool.
Lee, it's got so bad on Arsenal Twitter that I don't comment on people, our fellow Arsenal fans' posts. I don't put anything about the Arsenal.
I'm glad I'm not
it's
on
more
it.
about boxing. You're banned from Twitter. I mean, don't you laugh, Guni, mate? Guni, you just have to breathe and you'll get banned on Twitter, mate. Your ban's coming.
I've had several warnings.
Your ban's coming, mate.
I've had several suspensions and 24-hour lockouts and stuff. So
don't tell me that you didn't follow the leader or do the conga with the feel good fans at Chelsea.
Oh, mate.
The get along gang, Kenny. The get along.
Get along gang.
The get along gang. Nah, man, we go against that grain. You get me? We just speak our honest opinions out here. That's why I got you, man, on. You get me? We just have the realest people on it, 100%. But lads, obviously, I have to wrap up. But what have you guys got coming up? Lee, I'll start with you. Let the people them know what you got coming up, man.
I'm live in literally, 9 minutes. Well, I say 9 minutes. It'll be 14 minutes because I'm always late. So, but yeah, I've actually got 75 people sat waiting already. Jesus. But yeah, I'm live with Henry Wright on my channel in 10 minutes.
He's going to start feeling sorry for us because they've signed a couple of players.
He was sat there with a wry smile. I can't lie. He was sitting there like the cat that got the cream.
Oh, he's a Spurs fan, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He must be happy, especially after the L's that they took. It would have if they signed nobody at the end of the season, it would have been bad.
They've done the best business out of all the teams going for top 4.
Yeah, they have. They have. Chelsea haven't done any business.
Well, you're already in the top 4, but us,
they've added quality to their team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of
and
us,
they've got the best manager out of all of us, other than the top 3.
Mm. But the only thing I've got to fall back on is I've got boxing to fall back on because there's been some big fights. Dillian White versus Tyson Fury. I will. If you can get it in the United States, Lee, I recommend that you try and get a link. Big fight at Cardiff on the Saturday between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams. We've just seen the gloves are off.
Sorry to cut you, Johnny. Is that Matchroom? Eddie Hearn's Dillian White, right?
No. It gets back because Eddie Hearn's now with Matchroom's now with DAZN, and Sky.
But Dillian White signed with Matchroom, right?
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. That's another show. It's another show. I'm saying that to my boxing show. Either today or tomorrow, I've got a boxing show on. But all I'm trying to say is that I'm gonna narrow it down. Sky Sports have got boxer Ben Shalom, and they're now partnered with Top Rank Bob Arum. BT Sport are now partnered with Tyson Fury and Queensberry Promotions Fat Warren, and of course Bob Arum's involved in that as well. So Bob Arum's got an England BT Sport and Sky, and DAZN are partnered by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So basically, everyone's got a master. And if you go on Channel 5, it's Channel 5 have got Hennessy Brothers as well. So that's where we've now got 5 channels, all got a bit of boxing. If you want ITV Box Office, Al Heyman runs that as well. So it's a mess.
I love a bit of boxing myself, so I most probably be watching that. But
when you come down, when all of us together, I promise you right now, bring your wives, bring your mates.
March.
You'll have the best time at a boxing fight. I promise you won't regret it, mate.
I want to.
I see AJ knock out Brazil, bro. Yeah, and that was when Chisora fought Dillian White, bro. That uppercut was nasty.
Was that the best? Was that the best entertainment out there for you? Was that the best night
of your
life?
But there was about fucking 50 fucking Mancunians all in front of me, all having a big fucking scrap as I'm trying to
was that more enjoyable than football? Was that more enjoyable?
That was fucking disgusting, mate. All in their suits and their birds and their dresses. Go, you fucking.
Guni, some of these women are dressed like gangster moles. Some of them got their fur coats. I mean, some of them can't even spell boxing.
Fur coats and no knickers, Kenny.
Some of them look like Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, bruv. No, that's mental. Yeah, bruv. I can't wait for the boxing. But definitely, I'm coming down in March. I'm going to be there around March, maybe April times. So we definitely have to link up. If there's a fight, I'm down to go with
who knows? Kenny. The Arsenal-Chelsea game might be in March, April.
Yeah, because it's been rescheduled from. We were supposed to play in February, innit? But we got the Club World Cup, so we. I've
got another clue for a lot of people as well. One of us is born in 1972, so one of us is going to get the big. Is going to be at the big 5-0.
Okay. But listen, man, that's more. Listen, that's more life, man. You're blessed to at least see that. You get me? I can only wish for those years. I'm a few years off.
I thought by the time I was 50 that we'll win the Champions League.
Yeah, mate. Good job you ain't paid to think, Kenny.
You're right. But I'm gonna be going live with Elo Stacks, my guy over here at 6:30 EST, 11:30 UK time. So make sure you join us. That will be the last live and last video of the day. Did a live earlier with Ken. I done a live earlier with Eunice. If you haven't seen that was mainly Chelsea talk, which is why I didn't really go too much Chelsea into this one because I got the Arsenal lads. But
we didn't let you get a word in edgeways.
yeah, it was like I said, it's you guys' therapy, so I thought I'd let you lot vent on the channel, and I appreciate you both for doing it.
Achike,
Chike, don't forget Uncle Kenny now. You cannot forget him now.
Achike, lunch money on pockets, empty pockets. Achike.
Nah, man. But big up everybody in the chat. Kenny, Ken, Lee, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it. Always love it.
Appreciate you. Same time next week with you, Lee. In fact, we're on tomorrow, isn't it? Me, you, Eunice, and Northside.
Yeah, 2 p.m. UK time, man.
Oh,
make sure you're there. Make sure everybody's there.
Look after us Arsenal fans, because you know the only good thing about this all is that we haven't got a game until next Thursday against Wolves.
No, that's not a good thing. They'll probably beat us.
All right, then, people.
I'll take her out. Edu out.
Subscribe.
Everyone out.
I'll take her out.